Hello and welcome back to The Critique. Today we're looking at a YouTube script from Solace Fox called You'll See This Right Before Things Start Working. It's all about those signs that pop up, attachment, emptiness, right before a big life change. So let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the first thing that jumped out at me, the main theme, it's about this pre-breakthrough state. But the script structure is, well, it's circular. I think the distinct phases just kind of bleed into one another, and I worry you're going to lose.
Oh, I felt that immediately. I was reading through, and you have these great headers, right? The quiet, the germination, the neutral zone, the static phase.
Yeah, they sound distinct.
They sound distinct, but functionally, they're all describing the exact same emotional beat over and over again.
Precisely. If you just took the headers away, the content in the quiet is about feeling stuck. The content in the neutral zone also about feeling stuck and seeing nothing happen. The listener feels like they're walking in circles.
They're not climbing a ladder, they're on a merry-go-round. And that is just deadly for retention. Because after about 4 minutes, the listener's going to go, okay, I get it. It's quiet. Nothing's happened. Can we move on?
The script is just spinning its wheel. So that leads right to the suggestion we need to restructure this into a clear, linear progression, a roadmap, not just a collection of similar feelings.
A roadmap, I love that. People love steps. But how do you take these floaty, kind of abstract ideas like germination and make them linear?
You frame it as a system upgrade. Stop describing the feeling and start describing the process. So instead of jumping around, we make it a 3-step causal chain.
Okay.
Step 1, detachment. Step 2, social shedding. And step 3, recalibration.
All right, so break that down. Detachment is the internal part, the mental shift?
Correct. That's the surrender. And here's the key. You make the causal link explicit. You say, once you have mastered the detachment phase, you will inevitably trigger step 2, social shedding.
Ah, I see what you're doing. So it becomes cause and effect. My friends leaving, my job ending, that's not just random chaos. It's a direct result of the internal work I did in step 1.
Exactly. And then step 3, the recalibration, that's the internal void where the new programming loads. By doing this, you're changing the listener's entire role. They're not a victim of symptoms anymore.
They're a participant in a logical process.
Yes.
That's so much more empowering. Instead of, why is this happening to me? It's, okay, detachment is done. I must be in step 2 now. I'm on track.
It turns a confusing spiritual moment into a project plan.
Well, speaking of confusing, that brings me to the language. It's very heavy on the metaphysical side.
And that's our second point. The exclusive reliance on these abstract spiritual metaphors, it creates a barrier. It risks sounding a little bit like toxic positivity and not practical guidance.
Look, it's a stylistic choice. I get it. It fits the genre. But when I'm reading tuning the radio or frequency shifting,
the universe is rearranging furniture.
Exactly. It describes the feeling beautifully, but it doesn't describe the mechanics.
It just doesn't stick. It's like cotton candy. Tastes great for a second, but it dissolves instantly because the logical part of your brain has nothing to hold on to.
So how do we fix that? We don't want to gut the author's voice and turn this into a textbook.
No, you don't strip the magic away. The idea is to dual code the language. For every spiritual metaphor, you pair it with a psychological or physiological anchor.
Dual coding. I like that. It's like subtitles for the logical brain.
Exactly. It validates the whole thing. So let's take an example from the script. It says your frequency is shifting faster than your circumstances. There is static between stations.
It's a great image. I can feel that. But what's actually happening in my body?
So you pair that with something like cognitive dissonance, or, and I think this is even better, with the concept of extinction bursts from behavioral psychology.
Ooh, extinction bursts. Now that is a fantastic term. That's basically the brain throwing a temper tantrum just before a habit dies, right?
Spot on. When you stop feeding an old neural pathway, the brain doesn't just let go, it screams for it. The anxiety spikes, it's yelling, go back, right before it gives up.
So you'd actually say in the script, you feel that static because your brain is in an extinction burst. It is physically pruning old neural pathways.
Yes. Think about how much more reassuring that is. If you tell me it's just spiritual static and I'm having a panic attack, I might just roll my eyes. But if you tell me this is biology, your brain is throwing a tantrum because you're growing,
then I can step outside of it. It's not me. It's just my physiology doing its thing.
Will test. It's your brain resetting its baseline for stimulation. If you've been addicted to the chaos and the struggle for years, peace feels boring.
So it's not a void, it's a dopamine reset. That reframes boring from a problem into a necessary recovery. You aren't broken. Your receptors are just healing.
You're anchoring the metaphysical in the physical. It makes the advice defensible.
Now, that whole idea of waiting in the neutral zone, it brings up another issue I had. A lot of passive verbs in the script.
And that is the third key area. The script really emphasizes surrender and waiting to a point where I think it might encourage passivity, helplessness even.
This one really worried me. You hear stop forcing, stop controlling, trust the silence over and over. But who watches videos about breakthroughs?
High achievers. People who are used to making things happen.
Right. And you tell that person to just sit on their hands and do nothing? That's torture. It's completely counterintuitive. It's like you're in a staring contest with the universe, and you just have to not blink first.
And that just strips all the agency away. So the suggestion here is simple. Reframe the waiting period. Call it an active preparation phase. Give the listener a job to do in the silence.
Active preparation. I love that. It's like you're tricking the brain into surrendering by keeping it busy.
Exactly. And you give them concrete things to do. The script right now asks, the universe is watching. Are you complaining?
Which is, again, about not doing something. It's passive.
So we change don't complain to actively prepare. And I'd use the metaphor of a guest coming to stay.
Okay, walk me through that.
If you knew, truly believed that your massive breakthrough was showing up at your door next week, you wouldn't just sit on the couch staring at the wall.
No, you'd be cleaning the house. You'd be scrubbing the floors, buying groceries.
Yes, you prepare the vessel. So you tell the listener to audit their physical environment. Ask them, if your new reality arrived today, could your current home even support it? If you got that huge contract, is your office organized enough to handle the work?
If you met the love of your life, is your apartment ready for a guest?
That's it. And it's so actionable. It's also a sneaky way to enforce belief, because you wouldn't clean the guest room if you didn't really think the guest was coming.
It transforms faith into logistics. You're giving that high achiever somewhere to channel all that anxious energy.
It flips the script from waiting for the universe to the universe is waiting for you.
That's a huge psychological shift.
It is. But while we're empowering them, we also need to protect them. Which brings me to a section that raised some real red flags.
Let me guess, the false depression part?
Yes. And this is our fourth and maybe the most critical point. The section trying to distinguish the neutral zone from clinical depression is it's undersupported. It's risky.
The script literally says, you might experience something that feels like depression but isn't quite that. It's a massive upgrade.
And that is such a dangerous line to walk.
It really is. Imagine someone who's genuinely suffering from clinical depression. They hear that and think, oh great, I don't need help. This is just a spiritual thing. That's a huge liability.
Or the reverse happens. Someone in a healthy spiritual void starts thinking they're sick. The weakness is just the ambiguity.
So we can't just say, it's not depression. We have to explain why. We have to draw a very clear line.
Right now, the script describes the feeling as nothing excites you. Routines feel mechanical, muted.
Which, that sounds exactly like anhedonia. It's the textbook definition of a symptom of depression.
To fix this, we have to highlight the difference in capability and sensation. With depression, there's often a loss of hope, an inability to function. It's a heaviness.
Right.
In the void, the engine is still running. You're doing the dishes, going to work. You're functioning. There's just a lack of drama.
That's the nuance. In the void, you're not sad. You're just blank.
And we should use really specific imagery. I would suggest adding the phrase, depression feels like sinking, the void feels like floating.
Oh, that's good. Sinking versus floating. Wow. Both are a lack of movement, but the feeling is completely opposite.
Or use an analogy. Depression is an empty fuel tank. The car won't start. The void is a tank that's being drained so it can be refilled with high-octane racing.
So the car can start. We're just choosing to keep it in the garage for maintenance. It's a constructive vacancy versus a destructive lack.
Exactly. It shows the emptiness has a purpose. And by making that distinction crystal clear, the author protects their audience. It shows a duty of care, and that builds immense trust.
It shows they aren't just spiritually bypassing reality. They know the difference.
Precisely. So when you put these four things together, structure, tone, action, and safety, they all do the same thing. They take a script that is currently a vibe,
and they turn it into a strategy.
A strategy. We aren't telling Solace Fox to change their core message at all. We're just giving them a better delivery system for it.
We're tightening the screws. We move from these blurry zones to a clear ladder. Detachment causes shedding, which causes recalibration.
We move from spiritual frequencies to extinction bursts, so the logical brain buys in.
We go from passive waiting to active preparation, so the listener feels powerful, not helpless.
And we carefully separate the void from depression using sinking versus floating, so everyone stays safe. It just creates a script that's robust. It works for the mystic and the mechanic.
Honestly, I think that active preparation point is going to be the absolute game changer. I can already see the comments. I stopped waiting and I organized my closet, and I feel better already.
It converts potential energy into kinetic energy. And that's really what a good critique should do. It unblocks the flow.
Solus Fox, this is a beautiful piece of writing. The heart is solid. But with these shifts, it could be a definitive guide on the topic.
We would invite you to take these notes, build that roadmap, anchor the metaphors, and send us the revision. We are genuinely curious to see how you handle that active preparation section. That could be its own video.
How to clean your house for a breakthrough? Yeah, I'd click on that.
Me too. And that brings us to the end. Thank you for listening to The Critique. Until next time, keep refining your work.